So I'm curious to see if anyone can relate to this. I have been kind of in a funk lately since I got back. I want to go be around people. So like there's this big festival in Akron today called PorchRokr, and I really, really want to go. But the idea of being around that many people it's like I'm just totally resistant to that right now. Part of it's because I don't feel good about myself, and so I just don't want to be seen. I just feel really conflicted. So like it's like I don't want to put on clothes that I would normally wear. I don't want to try. There's something about this idea of getting ready and looking presentable and being seen and kind of having to be on, because like it is a music festival, so I used to play, like I've played it quite a few times in the past. I'm not really playing as much. I want to. I am just in a funk. I'm really in a funk. So, and I guess I'll just talk more about that. Ever since this thing happened to me last year with this horrible post, I kind of shut down and felt like everyone hated my guts or something. I logically know that's not true. It just is how it felt. And so when you're an artist and you already have to be vulnerable, and putting yourself out there is already difficult in some ways, being on stage with my community and with what happened just made me hesitant. But I'm finally in a place where I'm ready to do that more. Because of the funk that I've been in, everything has been kind of exacerbated. And something I'm really curious about. This is something I've struggled with at times, even without being in a funk. So for instance, before I left for Key West, I had to go to the laundromat, which is so simple. It's like one of the easiest things to do. You just go to the laundromat, right? And you do your laundry. But I hadn't been to a laundromat in a really long time. So it was the anticipation of going to the laundromat and having to ask someone questions, like having to ask someone for help. So I drove to the laundromat, and then I was in the parking lot, and I was like, just thinking about the fact that I would have to talk to someone and ask how, like, do I need a card? Do I just, like, how does this work now? Having to ask questions gave me a lot of anxiety. So I left the laundromat. I was there. I had all my stuff. I even bought soap, and I was sitting there. And then just thinking about the fact that I would have to go up to someone and ask questions and talk gave me so much anxiety that I left. Went all the way home, did not get out of the car, and then, wait, did I get out? Oh, no, okay, so I got home. I did actually get out of the car. I got out of the car, went upstairs or something, and then kept going, oh my God, I have got to do laundry. I gotta do laundry before I leave, I gotta go. So I get back in the car, go all the way back, and then and I'm just like talking myself through it, like, this is fine. What's the problem here, It's like I think I'm starting to recognize how much like social anxiety for interactions that I have. I can't tell if this is like a neurodivergent thing, which yes I am, or if it's like an artist thing, if it's a body image thing, if it's, I don't know. It's just a thing. And like the anticipation of these interactions is wild to me. So it's not like this is something new that I've experienced. It's just that it's something that I've become more aware of, that I think I want to communicate more about, because I'm certain I'm not the only one who experiences something like this. And B, I always believe that the more that we talk about things that we're trying to work through, the more that we have awareness to them, the more that we can, I don't even want to say overcome them, but the more that we can like work through them, or at least just have it in the forefront, so that it no longer like dictates our lives. So that's what I just felt like I wanted to talk about today. But I am curious if you can relate to anything of what I'm saying, or maybe I'm just totally a weirdo. I mean, I do know that I am. The other thing that I wonder too is that, like, talking about like spirituality, people get this idea about spirituality being this like, oh, I'm gonna be so spiritual and meditate my way out of sadness and darkness, and that's not at all how I experience spirituality. In fact, waking up, having like an actual awakening, 3 years ago, that was not how it felt. It was more of just like, holy shit, this is painful. A lot of pain came up because it was recognizing that like every single idea I had of myself, every single role, everything that I revolved my life around is not who I am. And I had to grieve that, and it has just been like a constant like death of self, of the idea of self. And then so there's layers to that though. It's not like that process just ends. Like even now, kind of going, being an artist even, and even surrendering that part. Like, yes, an artist is part of who it's part of my human experience, but that's not who I am. And then even like the neurodivergent piece, or the piece that is like has anxiety in social settings, is also not who I am. It's part of my human experience based off of, certain circumstances, or even just, on a cellular level, it's just part of my human makeup. But as far as like what I am, what we all are, I believe is beyond and before that. So connecting to that, remembering that it can be a magical, wonderful thing, but it can also be a very almost like daunting thing, because then you're just like, well, what the fuck do I do with this human body and this human mind, and how do I interact with people, and still how do I there's two sides to it. How do I keep one foot in the human and maintain the truth of what I am all the time, which is not human, it's energy or source or whatever. The words, the spiritual part of what we call it never feels fulfilling to me, because yet again, that's just human words, and vocabulary is so limited to how we can describe that. So that's the other thing that I wonder, like, am I just having a hard time doing things like going to the laundromat because I'm having a hard time just being in this human experience that seems so insufficient and even at times so like insignificant. And I know that's not true. It's just that it's like, it just seems so minuscule in terms of what we are, and then it's like, oh, nothing matters, so I kind of go through that space when I'm in the funk. Nothing matters, everything matters. And then there's like, it's like this whole like, there's nothing and everything all at the same time. And then I don't know, trying to just like move through life when you are awake is not easy. And it's not a bed of roses, and it's not this like bright, happy, positive rainbow all the time. I think the goal for me is to maintain balance and neutrality and acceptance of these different sides of myself, allowing them to be and not judging so harshly, so that I don't sabotage or keep myself in either extreme of the space. Hopefully that makes sense. So yeah, that's my food for thought for today, and wondering again, like, if you can relate to any of that. I would love to hear your thoughts, and yeah, let's chat about it, guys. All right, thank you. Thanks for watching.